Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Okay, so I want to have a serious conversation today about some updates that have occurred with the Colleen Ballinger situation and the allegations that have been made towards her and some things that have occurred over the last several days. But before I get into that, I want to address something that I have seen talked about online, and that is drama channels talking about the Colleen Ballinger situation. Now, I cannot speak to the other drama channels and the other commentary channels that are making videos about Colleen Ballinger. I can only speak to myself and my intention and my motive behind it. So I want to address that because I'm seeing a lot of people say things when new stuff comes out. There will be several comments underneath it that will say, oh, this is new information. Now drama channels are going to run to their cameras and turn them on and make videos and things like that, right? If you've watched my channel for any period of time, you know that what I enjoy doing is entertaining. I enjoy flipping a fan, talking on the drama phone, having a little gossip, a little kiki, talking a little tea about beauty influencers and YouTubers and making some shady comments and also bringing awareness to the consumer about shady business practices and things that are going on. I have made it very, very clear for a long time that I do not enjoy getting on this channel and talking about really dark situations, okay? That being said, and there's going to be a lot more that comes out in the near future about James Charles. But that being said, when James Charles was going through his allegations and people were, talking about that left and right on Twitter and online and in YouTube videos and things like that, I really chose to steer away from talking about that. And I only made a few videos talking about the James Charles allegations, okay? To be honest with you, to some degree, I kind of regret that in retrospect. I think that these are important topics to be talking about when we're talking about YouTubers and we're talking about their following and we're talking about their fandom, okay? I also think it's important when you look at all the allegations that have been made against James Charles, and I have seen some tweets recently that he has deleted that I look back on and I think, I cannot believe that James Charles actually tweeted these things out, right? To flash forward 4 years later, James Charles still has a thriving career and is still getting, 700,000 to 1 million views a video, and is still getting brand sponsorships, and is still getting a lot of opportunities to attend events and things like that, and has really not suffered anything, because of the allegations. I'm sure at that time it was very difficult for him, and probably rightfully so for the actions that he was engaging in. This is kind of a different situation. There is so much factual evidence coming out against Colleen Ballinger now. There are so many people that are sharing their stories. This really started with Adam McIntyre sharing his story and talking about what happened. And then as a result of that, so many people have come out and have started talking about all of this. And so I feel like it is important that we continue to shine a light on this and continue to address this until Colleen Ballinger comes out and she makes a statement or she addresses this or she takes accountability or is held accountable for it. I think it's important. And that is why I will continue to talk about it. And the interesting thing about people coming out and saying, well, drama channels are going to run to their camera, I could literally probably make 3 or 4 hour-long videos about everything that is going on with this situation every single day. And, one of the things I have said from the beginning is that I really feel like it's important that the majority of all the information is coming from Adam and the other people that were directly affected by this, because I think the own voice of the person that was affected by this is the most important. This is just one person getting on here and telling you my opinion about what's going on, right? But I also think that it is my duty and my responsibility of having call me whatever you want to call me over here, okay? But this is a channel where we discuss YouTubers and we discuss things that are going on. I also think it's my duty and my responsibility to continue to have the conversation and allow the conversation to stay alive. Because if we do not do that, okay, then what Colleen wants, which is that this will just pass on by and that people will stop talking about it and she will not have to address it, and all the people that are surrounding her, that are enabling her, will not have to address it, then they actually get away with everything that people are saying and alleging that they've done, right? And then 3 or 4 years down the road, we have another situation like James Charles. And I really think that what happened several years ago was that they're, number one, people stopped talking about it. People stopped making videos about it because it was really like saturation of the James Charles situation, right? To where they make a joke of it today. The other thing that was happening was that there were a lot of people that were coming out and they were making up false stories about James Charles and interactions that they had with him. So it was hard to decipher between what was true and what was not true, okay? That is not the situation with Colleen Ballinger. There are factual evidence of group chats, of personal DMs, and on and on and on. In fact, one of Colleen Ballinger's fans from back in the day, I believe at the time he was about 15. He ended up working for Colleen Ballinger on tour. His name is Johnny. He has been posting left and right on Twitter and sharing his story. He's also done TikToks as well. Adam McIntyre has retweeted a lot of what he has shared. Colleen Ballinger's ex-husband, Josh, came out yesterday and made a public apology to him, which a lot of people are, you know, not taking and they have a lot of issue with, and I understand that, and I totally understand why they have a lot of issue with it. But the fact that Josh, Colleen Ballinger's ex-husband, came out and attempted to take accountability and made a public apology to this guy, okay, who is now 27 years old. This is 12 years ago. I believe he's 27. Is, to me, it is like how Colleen is not going to come out and address this and is going to continue to hide and act like nothing's going on. There's no way that that can happen, right? I mean, her ex-husband has now come out and apologized publicly, taken responsibility to some degree, admitted fault in the situation. And by him admitting fault, he is implicating Colleen, and I mean, he was probably the closest person to her at that time, with the exception of maybe her closest friend Corey. So, you know, at this point, it's like, how does Colleen try to get out of the situation from a PR point of view? Which, to me, is so disgusting that I think behind the scenes what she's trying to do is that she's trying to work with legal and she's trying to work with PR to save her coin, to save her reputation, so that, you know, she can continue to go on tour and she can continue to make her videos and all that kind of stuff, right? Doing the right thing is not as important to her as coming out. And she's used her fans for years and years and years. And I said this the other day in my video, that it's interesting to me when, like, I went through her Instagram, and it's just, I mean, she's obviously deleting comments because every comment on her Instagram is just glowing, right? It's just, every person is just like, oh, Colleen, we've seen the evidence, we've seen the group chat notes, we've seen on and on and on, and we know who you are as a person. How you look at that information, how you look at how Colleen, Corey, Josh, all these people were talking to minors at that time, and you think that's okay, and you think because you've seen her in videos, or you've gone into a meet and greet with her, or got your picture taken with her, you think that you know this person who took your money so that she could live in a mansion in California. You think you know this person. What you should be realizing by this is that this is how Colleen treated her fans for years and years and years. And you are just one of her fans, okay? And she probably would have treated you the same way, except for that you just weren't in the right age group. So that, to me, is baffling, how these people continue to stand by her and say, oh, we know the real Colleen, or no, you don't. You don't. You don't know any of these YouTubers. You don't know any of these influencers. You don't really know what any of them are like, except for the 10 to 15 minutes that they show you on video every time they choose to post a video. That's baffling to me, okay? So it is important that we continue to talk about this. It is important that podcasts like, you know, Kendall Ray, they address it in the sesh. It's important that drama channels continue to talk about this. It's important that Adam McIntyre continues to talk about it. And Adam McIntyre and a couple other people yesterday were, you know, insinuating that they had talked to a reporter from Rolling Stone magazine, indicating that they were doing an article about the situation with Rolling Stone magazine, okay? And this is where I said this thing is going to start picking up nationally, internationally. News sources are going to start picking it up. We're going to talk about TMZ here in just a second. Pop Crave picked it up as well. We're going to, you know, so there's a lot of like online and other resources that are picking up this situation and the story and talking about it, right? It's going to become huge. It already is pretty huge. The other thing I want to address is, I did a video the other day where I said that Colleen's friends need to come out and they need to address the situation. The amount of comments that I got on that video And the amount of people that I have seen that said, like, well, why is it Joey Graceffa's responsibility? Or why is it Trisha Paytas's responsibility? Or why is it Daniel Prater's responsibility? Or, you know, why is it Laura Lee or Manny MUA's responsibility to come out and talk about Colleen Ballinger? It's not their responsibility whatsoever, okay? But, you know, I do think that those people that we choose to surround ourselves with are representative of our character. I really, truly do believe that, you know, which is why today I only have a few people that I align myself with in my personal life, and those people, I can tell you, are salt of the earth, really good people, right? You know, that I believe in fully, right? That I would stand in a video and I would support. But if they did something that was undefendable, I would also get in a video and say, it's undefendable. So how these people continue to stand by, now you have to remember, okay, that these are the same people, many of which are the same people that have continued to stand by and be friends with James Charles through the years, okay? They're the same people that have continued to stand by him, go to his parties, go to his events, like his pictures, laugh at his jokes, making fun of the Tati video, making fun of the, and you did it at my birthday party, like Daniel Prater throwing up the picture of the birthday cake on his thing, you know, 2 weeks ago or whatever. It's still over there. You guys can go look. It's still on his Instagram. And so these are the people that have condoned this the other day. And I said in my video, the last video that I did talking about this, so you guys think that predatorial behavior is funny, apparently, right? Like, if it were me, I would be rushing so quickly to say, I do not stand behind this, okay? From the evidence that I've seen, I cannot continue to stand behind this. And whether Kendall Ray came out, you know, 2 weeks too late or whatever, she still came out and she said something about it, you know? And there are enough people now that are talking about this and that are coming out and saying something about it, that the fact that Colleen Ballinger's closest friends are not coming out and talking about it is baffling to me. And I want to tell you something that I think is seriously problematic about this, is that it really speaks to the character of who these people are, okay? And so when you say, why should they come out and speak about it? They should come out and speak about it because it's the right thing to do, all right? Like, I don't know what has happened in our world. We're just doing the right thing, just being a good person. Like, I don't understand what has happened to all of that, you know? And I watched some of these people's videos in the last couple days, and they really appeal to their audience of like, I'm like this really good person, blah, 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 blah. Daniel Prater put up a video called Addressing the Comments, ... and then like shopping or something like that, right? Okay, it was a 30-minute video. He had been getting a lot of comments about why he wasn't addressing the Colleen Ballinger situation. He just tweeted out today, he is still getting comments about why he is not addressing the Colleen Ballinger situation as somebody that was a close friend, or probably still is a close friend of Colleen Ballinger's. We don't know, right? He does a video called Addressing the Comments, a very clickbait title, okay, almost kind of using the situation that is going on with Colleen Ballinger. And the comment that he addresses in the video, and I watched the entire video, has absolutely nothing to do with Colleen Ballinger whatsoever. Nothing to do with that situation. He puts it at about the halfway mark, so he gets you to watch half of the video before you even find out what it is that he's actually going to talk about in there, okay? So you put this video up, and this is the other thing that I love, is when people are like, well, Trisha Paytas pre-films her videos 2 weeks ahead, or Daniel Prater pre-films his videos 2 weeks ahead, or this person pre-films their videos 2 weeks ahead. Who gives a F, okay? I'm sorry, you can't sit down in a chair. I do it every single day. There's a lot of channels that do it every single day. There's a lot of channels that edit. I don't edit, but there's a lot of channels that edit every single day and post a video every single day talking about whatever is going on. Are you telling me you cannot get in a chair and just push record, push stop at the end of it, and post a video addressing the situation, or put up a tweet, or put up an Instagram story or something? You have to pre-film that 2 weeks ahead? Okay, I ain't buying it, all right? Trisha Paytas used to post 8 and 9 videos a day sitting on her kitchen floor, right? Those were videos that she was filming that day and posting those videos. 8 and 9 videos a day, okay? Daniel Prater is somebody else that has also filmed and posted a video in the same day. So that is not a good excuse for me that these people cannot come out and speak about it. People are like, oh, well, Trisha filmed that video. She posted a video where she's talking about like Colleen in it or something like that, and that these outfits that they're going to wear and stuff like that. She chose to post that video. She didn't have to post that video. She could have come out and talked about it. And this is the thing that's interesting to me, okay? Is that what they're doing is they're time stamping their complicity, okay? Because what they're doing is that when Trisha posted that video several days ago, okay, what she's saying is, at this point in time that I'm posting this video and I'm saying positive things about Colleen in here, that I am still, like, I have nothing negative to say about Colleen. I'm not addressing the situation. Daniel Prada comes out and he does this video yesterday or the day before, addressing the comments, which of course was a total clickbait title because he thought that everybody was going to come over there thinking he was going to talk about Colleen, which I think is absolutely disgusting and sick that he did that, okay? He used these people's pain to do a clickbait title, which is really about him buying a bunch of plants. And I said in my video, it'll be a lot quicker than you doing a home redo video, which is exactly what it was. It was him doing his backyard, right? And him buying all these plants. And he goes in there and he talks about, you know, that he met this older lady and she was part of this gardening club, and that, you know, he was thinking about joining this gardening club. He plays it off like he's really like this really good, down-to-earth, nice guy, which maybe he is. I don't know, right? But if that's the case, then come out and do the right thing. Come out and speak against this situation that is atrocious. Come out and talk about that, right? Like, stand with the right side. You know, these are people that for years have come out and taken the moral high ground in talking about things that are like, Trisha Paytas had no problem talking negatively about James Charles on the Frenemies podcast for a long time, you know? Daniel Prada had no problem coming out and talking about Gabby Hanna and what a horrible person she was on the set of, you know, that TV show that show that he did with The Night Show, whatever the night, with Joey Graceffa. He had no problem coming out when she came for him, rightfully so, okay? Like, I don't take issue with that. He should have come out and addressed that situation. But you've come out and you've talked about Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson, and how there's nothing excusable about their behavior. But you continue to stand behind James Charles and Colleen Ballinger. So apparently there's nothing wrong with what they did. So you pick and choose your moral superiority. Like, I don't understand that. I really don't, okay? But I think that it's time that we start doing the right thing at whatever expense. If that means you guys are going to lose a friend or whatever over it, so be it, okay? So you lose a friend over it. I'm just, like, so blown away by it at this point that I can't even, like, I can't even understand it. I'm so confused. And they're not just the only ones, you know. A lot of people said to me, why are you not talking about JoJo Siwa? Like, JoJo Siwa is friends with Shane Dawson and James Charles and Colleen Ballinger and Rachel Ballinger and all this kind of stuff. I am side-eyeing JoJo Siwa, okay? As somebody that has watched her since the very first time that she ever stepped foot into Dance Moms, I mean, I've watched her entire career, and she is now a role model for the LGBT community, especially the younger community. I am very confused at the choices that JoJo Siwa is making of people that she is choosing to hang around, okay? I'm baffled by it. Like, I do not understand it, you know? And this is where I think it is important for people to come out, and they need to talk about these things, you know? And they need to talk about what's going on and all this kind of stuff. You know, people were listing all the people that Colleen Ballinger is not just a YouTuber. Colleen Ballinger has been on, like, every major talk show, Jimmy Kimmel, I believe. You know, she had a Netflix show. All these different options for things that she was, like, you know, possibly getting. She's been on tour. She's made tons and tons of money on tour and things like that. Been touring for years, okay? Like, she's not just a YouTuber that sits in her kitchen with a camera, okay, and does, like, cooking DIYs. Like, let's just be for real. Let's call it for what it is. It's not who she is, okay? She is a multi-millionaire that has bankrolled off of her fans, believing that she is a certain way, and behind the scenes she was somebody different, you know, and a lot of people bought into that, and it's okay to come out as her friend and say, I didn't realize this was who the real Colleen was, unless they did, and they co-signed that because it helped build their own career. And then what I think is that's disgusting, is what I think, okay? So anyway, I wanted to get on here because TMZ, I noticed, they posted this article. Hold on a second. Oh, I just had it up. They posted this article last night, and then they posted it again today. I guess they're trying to get it some traction. But the article says, YouTuber Colleen Ballinger loses sponsorship deals over teen fart stunt. And here it is, the article that they have on Twitter. So I go last night to read this article, okay? Now, mind you, we've talked about this. Everybody's been talking about this online for days and days and days, what's been going on with Colleen Ballinger, okay? And Adam McIntyre and all the other people that were part of her group chats and all the allegations that have come out, and this Johnny guy is getting a lot of traction. There's so many, I mean, there are literally hundreds of people talking about this at this point that were directly affected by Colleen Ballinger. There is tons of evidence. There's video evidence. It's on it. I mean, it is massive amounts of evidence at this point. And this is the article that TMZ chooses to post. Are you ready? TMZ, which when you look at their profile on Twitter says media and news outlet. They are journalists, okay? I have never proclaimed to be a journalist on this channel. Never, ever, ever have I ever said that I was a journalist. I've said I was a drama channel. I said I was a candle review company. I said that I was a gossip tea channel or a kiki channel, but I've never said that I was a journalist. Don't get it confused, okay? But they are journalists, and that is their job, to investigate what is going on. And this is the article they choose to post. YouTuber Miranda Sings loses podcast sponsors, teen fart stunt backlash. YouTube star Colleen Ballinger, this was posted on 6/16/2023 at 12:45 a.m. So this was posted last night. I saw it as soon as they posted it. YouTube star Colleen Ballinger, best known for her internet character Miranda Sings, is not just catching flack over a resurfaced clip from one of her shows. She's also losing deals. TMZ has learned at least 2 companies who pay for ads on Colleen's podcast have pulled their sponsorships, and it may just be the tip of the iceberg. Here's the deal. Colleen is under fire for a viral clip from one of her old comedy shows, which features her calling a young fan up to the stage for an embarrassing fart stunt. Okay, TMZ, you need to get it right, okay? Colleen is being called out for a lot more than that. Colleen is being accused of a lot more than that. So to post this article and say it's all just about this one thing, which I'm not saying that you shouldn't take away the importance of this situation. I'm just saying, let's just be for real. It's not just about this one thing, okay? And you did not do your job as journalists, news, media. In the resurfaced footage, Colleen spreads the young fan's legs as she lies on her back on stage, and then a fart noise blares over the speakers. A woman who says she is the girl in the video is now speaking out. She says she was only a teenager at the time and rips Colleen for embarrassing and traumatizing her. She's also taken heat for asking a young fan to pretend to give birth and for other crude comments at her shows towards minors. Some of Colleen's podcast sponsors have taken notice and taken action. Skincare company One Skin tells us they severed ties with Colleen, saying, "We were made aware of this previously and have decided to cease the relationship completely. This behavior is appalling and we do not condone or support it in any form." Another sponsor, telemedicine company ZocDoc, says they will no longer run ads on her podcast. Okay, so based on 2 or 3 pranks that Colleen Ballinger did on her tour, which she had no problem doing on her tour in front of an entire audience of people, city after city after city, night after night after night, she had no problem doing that, right? Sponsorships are canceling her and severing ties with her. Can you even imagine the backlash that's going to happen when they start really taking notice of all of the allegations that are coming out? I mean, there's this one girl, I feel so bad for her, that Colleen Ballinger was like using her story to come up with a character for like a show or a movie or something, and was like making fun of her illness and then talking to people behind the scenes saying that this girl was like faking her illness and stuff. I mean, it's so disgusting. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And it's just so baffling to me. And then TMZ doesn't even come out and talk about all of the allegations, but Rolling Stone is supposedly doing an article on it. TMZ, you need to get your shit together, okay? Seriously? And then you go underneath here and you read the comments on the Twitter thread. Really? So you're just going to gloss over her sending nudes to 15-year-old kids and her dirty, gross undies to a 14-year-old boy? You've totally lost the plot with this headline. What a ridiculous title. That's not what she did, and you know it. You people still can't get anything right. She groomed children and talked inappropriately to minors, among other things. This is a serious situation. Now treat it as such. And I 100% agree with that. Of all the things you could have focused on, you do this. There is so much more going on with Colleen, and I'm just reading them straight down, you guys. You can go to the Twitter underneath the TMZ article, and you can just read them straight down and see that I'm reading them straight down. There is so much more going on with Colleen than just that. How about everything else that's coming to light? A time machine goes on, okay, back 20 years and tells someone this headline just for the reaction. This is the least of what's going on with her, on and on and on. And it's all these different statements about people calling out TMZ because basically they didn't get the story correct, okay? Because they're talking about this tour prank that she does on her tour, which is like the least, which I'm not saying that it's not horrible what she did, okay? But out of all of the allegations, it's like the least of it, right? And then people want to know why her friends shouldn't come out and they shouldn't say something about it. Well, the reason why is because if her friends come out and they speak about this and they take a stance, which is the right thing to do, okay? I don't know why it is so hard to just ask somebody to be a good person. Like, I'm like baffled by that, right? Like, let's just be for real. Do you follow the YouTubers that you follow? Do you follow them because they're shit people? Do you follow them because they're nasty, horrible people? Is that why you follow them? You follow them because you like them because they're nasty, horrible people? Or do you follow them because they're likable? Do you think that Daniel Prada is getting in a video and he's talking about how he's going to join this older ladies gardening club because he's trying to appeal to people that are going to think he's a nasty and horrible person? Which he has been nasty and horrible on Twitter, okay? Daniel Prada can be one of the shadiest people ever on Twitter and come for people left and right. So the fact that he has nothing to say about this and continues to post tweets of his dogs and things like that is just unbelievable to me. You know, but this is the thing, is that he can't come out now 2 weeks after the fact and go, well, I guess I need to talk about Colleen Ballinger. Well, I guess she posted a video clickbaiting a title, called it Addressing the Comments, when you know the comments that you wanted people to talk about, right? So what are you thinking? That this is going to pass by you now? You know, Trisha Paytas, if she comes out now, because there's all this stuff coming out. Well, apparently Ethan Klein on his H3 podcast said that there's rumors behind the scenes that Trisha is going to come out and make a statement, okay? Well, here's the deal. There have been a lot of, like, stories that people are saying that, and Adam has said this and other people have said this, that people talked horribly about Trisha, or Colleen and her friends talked horribly about Trisha Paytas behind the scenes. There's been allegations that that Colleen would have her friends over to her house and that they would like air Trisha's OnlyFans and watch it and laugh at her, and that they would body shame her. There's a video clip of Colleen Ballinger talking about how they saw a whale, I think when she and her friend Corey were in Hawaii, and she goes, and I'm not talking about Trisha Paytas. I mean, on and on and on. And this is what I said, that Trisha Paytas will draw the line in the sand when people are making fun of her behind her back. But this is the thing. Trisha Paytas can't come out 2 weeks after the fact and say that she's all, like, enraged about Colleen's behavior now, when it's about the fact that she's pissed because Colleen was talking bad about her behind her back. Oh, so that's what you get enraged about. You don't get enraged in all this other kind of stuff, which people are saying, well, Trisha Paytas engaged in some of that behavior as well. Okay, so you can't come out and say 2 weeks after the fact that you're all enraged about Colleen Ballinger and what she did and that this was all horrible, when really what it's about is that you're pissed that she was talking about you behind your back, okay? When what you should have done, Trisha, was you should have come out a week ago and said, I'm canceling the podcast. I can't continue to stand by this person with the allegations that are going on. We're going to wait. If you wanted to save face and you didn't want to come out against your friend, what you could have said is, until this is investigated further, because this is so serious that this really needs to be investigated further, and I'm going to investigate it myself, and until that happens, I'm pausing the podcast and we're not going to go further with it, because if there's truth to these statements, I cannot continue to stand by Colleen or any friend of mine that's going to be, you know, held accountable for this. But she's not going to do that. She's not going to do that because all these people are so concerned with their coin, right? Well, here it is. Colleen Ballinger is starting to lose sponsorship. She's starting to lose her coin. And Adam McIntyre actually had something to say about this today. Hold on a second. I want to pull it up where he said. Adam McIntyre responded to her losing sponsorships. And he said, hold on a second, something to the effect of, this is when she'll start to come out and say something when she starts losing sponsorships. Hold on just a second. Oh my God, there's so many tweets. He's tweeting so many things. But anyway, he basically said something about the fact that she will come out and start talking about it now, because I think he retweeted this Pop Crave thing. Let me see if I can find this Pop Crave thing. He's retweeting something that somebody posted right here. But he basically came out and said, this is when Colleen Ballinger will come out and she will address this. He said, if you're telling the truth, exposing something, or just apologizing, it should not take you over a week of intense media backlash to respond. Keep that in mind. She thought this would blow over and took a few days off from vlogging. Anything from now is a desperate PR move, right? And he said that, and then he said something about, you know, that when her coin is affected, this is when she's going to come out and talk. Now that she's losing sponsorships, now that major media outlets are picking it up, this is when she's going to come out and talk about it, because she's being forced to address it. Not because it's the right thing to do, not because she feels like she needs to take accountability or responsibility for this, but because now she's being held accountable and it's affecting her overall dollar, and that's what she ultimately cares about. Not that she really cares about the greater good of who she's affected, right? Which is really sick. And that's going to be what we're going to end up seeing, you know? And I think it's interesting, you know? that what he says about all this, and I think that ultimately, you know, she needs to come out and she needs to address this, and she needs to say, there was something about his statement that he said, that it shouldn't take over 2 weeks, and that at this point it's a PR move. I completely agree with that. She's working with lawyers and PR and image consultants behind the scenes trying to clean up the situation, right? You can't, this is too messy of a mess. You can't clean it up. You need to come out and you need to own it, you know? And it's just baffling to me that this continues to go on. But the reason why, okay, that this needs to continue to be, this is going to stop, hold on a second. While I stopped my camera, I remembered what I wanted to talk about with this comment, is when he said, if you're telling the truth, exposing something, or just apologizing, it should not take you over a week of intense media backlash to respond. Keep that in mind. She thought this would blow over and took a few days off from vlogging. Okay, that's what is so important about this. Colleen Ballinger thought this would blow over, okay? The reason why it's important that her friends come out and address the situation is not just because it is the right thing to do and they need to be good people, which I do believe, okay? I truly believe that this is the right thing to do, so please come out and speak about it. But what you're also doing is you're allowing any attention on Colleen to go away, and so you are complicit in it because people are looking to you right now to see if you have anything to say about it, and you're not saying anything about it. You're posting videos about plants and going to the movies with your ex, Joey Graceffa, that you've been broken up with for 3 years. Like, seriously, like, that's the video, and that you address one comment that somebody made on your Twitter, and you pulled that comment because you wanted to, you know, draw attention to this addressing comments video. That's what you wanted to make it about, and so you stick that right in the middle of doing a Wendy's mukbang in your car and talking about how the double cheeseburger used to be $1 and now it's $3.99, and you throw this comment in there, and then you get all these people to watch the video thinking that you're going to address Colleen Ballinger. Or Manny and Laura on their podcast when people thought they were going to address the Colleen Ballinger situation and they didn't address it. So what you're doing is you're allowing Colleen to stay hidden by not coming out and saying, I have loved Colleen for years. Colleen has been my friend for years, but she needs to come out and talk about this. She needs to come out and address this situation because this isn't going anywhere, and I can't continue to stand by and watch this happen, and I can't continue to stand by and watch these people affected by it. There's nothing right about this. Colleen, if you hate me for this as a friend, I'm sorry, but you need to come out and address this, right? That's the right thing to do, and then they wouldn't be allowing her to continue to hide because those are the people that allowed James Charles to hide, and that's why James Charles is today continuing to thrive and isn't being held accountable for the actions of his past, right? Well, James Charles, get ready because a new day is coming, all right? And there are people out there that are going to be holding you accountable. There are people out there that haven't forgotten. And there are people out there that aren't going to forget about Colleen Ballinger. And the reason why Adam's statement is so important, him talking about her thinking that this was going to blow over, is the reason why we need to continue to talk about it, is the reason why people need to continue to talk about it on social media, and is the reason why videos need to continue to be made about it. Okay? Because if people stop having the conversation, then Colleen Ballinger will get away with not having to address this. And the articles will stop being written, and the people will stop talking about it, and all of a sudden, it'll be Colleen Ballinger, you know, back doing vlog videos, and blah, 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 whatever. And she will have learned nothing from this, except for how to get away with it. And 5 years down the road, we'll see more inappropriate jokes and things like that because that's what these people do. James Charles is a perfect example of this. Holding up that pathetic birthday cake that said, and you did it at my birthday dinner, okay? Ha ha, what a funny joke at your victim's expense. You called them victims, James. You called them that. You called them that. And you said you were desperate too. So, I don't know what's funny about that. I don't know what any of this behavior is funny to these people, but apparently either they're part of it or these people have stuff on them as well and they're afraid of that coming out, or they're so scared of it ruining their almighty dollar or their almighty coin or ruining their reputation that they can't come out and speak about it, or maybe the other is true. Maybe they think it's okay. Maybe they are co-signing this and they think that there's nothing wrong with this. I don't know. I guess it's up to you to decide. Anyway, let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.